Pirkei Avos. All right, we're now learning Pirkei Avos, and we finished learning Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. And then we learned Rabbi Gamliel, who was the son of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. And then we went back to Hillel. Now let's see where this is. We went back to Hillel. Do this. Yes. All right, let's do Mishnah Daled. I think that's what we got up to. Yes. Hillel Omer, that's where we are. We're on Mishnah Daled. We're on Mishnah Daled. Yes. And we're in the second part of Mishnah Daled. Second part of Mishnah Daled is Hillel. Were you able to find the Kahati you found last time, Kahati? No, that's the Bartanura, which is also very nice. If you want to, we'll learn that. I have another sefer. We'll learn Bartanura. Just that the Kahati was written way after the Bartanura, and so he sort of distilled what the Bartanura wrote, and sometimes made it in more simple language. But that's all right. We can learn this also. Let's go. Mishnah Daled. Hillel Omer. See, where is it? Where is this Hillel Omer? Where are you? And this. All right. Hillel Omer. See, Al Tifrosh Me'at Tzibur. Yeah, there we go. Hillel Omer. It's right on the third line. First word on the third line. First word on your third line. Hillel Omer. Hillel said, Al Tifrosh Me'at Tzibur. Now, how do we get Hillel over here? Hillel was a few generations before. Hillel was a few generations before, but Hillel was the teacher of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and we're going to have Mishnahs from Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai coming up soon. So Hillel Omer, Hillel says, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Don't separate yourself from the congregation. Don't try to be a loner. Va'al tamin ba'atzmacha ad yom mosach. And don't believe in yourself until the day you die. In other words, never really believe in yourself. What does that mean? I mean, that's terrible advice. That's the opposite of to be assertive and to be certain of yourself, to know who you are. So let's see what these two mean. We'll do the others in a moment. First of all, don't separate from the congregation and don't believe in yourself until the day you die. And let's always be doubtful of yourself. Oh, there we have Kahati. Wonderful. Go a little bit down. We can go down a little bit. There we go. Go back to Halazakin. Go on. No, but go down a little bit. Scroll down a bit. What am I going to do? As soon as we finish the class, I forget and I don't look for remember how to put it down. Okay. Okay, Hillel Omer. Al tifrosh mi'at tzibur. Do not separate yourself from the congregation. It's not up here on the either. If you can put on what we have, what we're learning. If not, then there's no reason to put it up. You have to go down further. No. maybe just take it off because I think that's more confusing than anything.
You can control it.
I can? How?
At the top, I think there's some.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. I can do this? Really? Scroll down? No, I can't. No. No. It just has to go down further. Okay, it's just really wasting time. There it is. Oh. Go further down, further, please. Hillel, that's it. Hillel, last one on the line is Hillel. Excuse me, Hillel Omar. Hillel said, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Do not be separate from the congregation. Don't be separate. Don't separate yourself. In other words, Ela but hishtatef im hatzibur b'tzaroto. You should join the congregation even when they are suffering. Don't say everyone else is suffering. Why should I suffer? Join with them. Pray with them. Kain omru b'zman Yisrael shirui b'tzar. In the time when the Jewish people are in trouble, and one person separates from all the rest of the Jews, come all the other angels, two angels, and they escort a person, and they put their hands on this person who separated and said, this person was separated from the congregation, he will not see in the comfort of the congregation. You separated yourself from the Jewish people because you thought there would be benefits in that. You won't get any benefit. And it said, in a time when the congregation is in trouble, a person shouldn't say, I'll go to my house, and I'll eat and I will drink. And I'm okay. They didn't get me, I'm all right. The congregation, you should suffer together with everyone else. A person who suffers with the congregation, he will merit to see the comforting of the congregation. Okay, up to now the Jews have really suffered terribly, but generally speaking, and let's take an example in Russia, all those Jews that decided to join the communists all of them came to a bad end. All of them came to a bad end. They thought that they would escape all the troubles, and to a certain degree they did for a certain amount of time. But after a while, all those that put the previous Rebbe into prison, they were all Jews, and they all got killed. Nachmanson, Lulav, all these people, they all were murdered by the communists in there. And so it was also through the generations, the Jews that changed their religions and the Jews that this, and that's why they, in the end, someone told me, and I don't know, you can check this up. I read it in a book once, but then I read that it wasn't true. That all of the people that were really affected by the Inquisition in Spain were all Jews that changed their religion, that tried to hide their Judaism, that they didn't take part in the expulsion. They remained behind. And that the whole Inquisition was only to ferret out those Jews that were thought they would escape trouble by hiding and disguising themselves. Terrible times. The church was very, very cruel to the Jews at all the times. Now they're worse. Now it's infinitely worse than it was before. Now it's much, 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 much worse than it was before. Because before, they were clear about it. They were clear about it, and they tortured people physically. But now they're being very devious, and they give money, and there are friends, and they have smiles, and they have television programs, and then this, and they want to destroy Jewish souls. And it's much more insidious than it used to be, because then they would destroy Jewish bodies. But now now is the time when Jews are ignorant, and Jews don't know what Judaism is, and Jews are alone, and this all of a sudden comes up with a person with a big smile, a big wad of money, and he's our friend, and he loves us, and why not? What am I getting out of this Jewish business? And they plan to, and God should destroy all their plans in the most obvious and clear way that'll be even clearer to them, so that the whole entire world will worship only the one God and stop this insane idolatry that's going on, really crazy. Okay, in any case, don't separate from the congregation. That's the idea. Okay, next one. Al ta'amin ba'atzmacha, do not believe in yourself until the day you die. Hey, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with believing in yourself? Listen to this. Al tivtach b'tzidkatecha, do not be certain because of your righteousness. Shelo tikashel, don't be sure of yourself that you're not going to do an avera. V'lo tered mimalatcha, and that you won't descend. A person shouldn't say, listen, I'm a big tzaddik, I'm a big rabbi, I know the whole Torah. I think I got to the point where I can really trust myself. Shahari Yochanan Kohen Gadol Shimesh B'Kohona Godula. There was a person called Yochanan Kohen Gadol, and he was Kohen Gadol for 80 years. Which means when he became Kohen Gadol, he must have been 20 years old. So he must have been 100 years old. Ulabasov Naset Tzaduki. And in the end, he became a Tzaduki. What's a Tzaduki? Tzaduki were people that denied the oral Torah. They denied the whole Gomorrah. That was the beginning of the Christians. They laid the foundation for them. That you could doubt the rabbis, you could hate the rabbis, you could make war against the rabbis. Everybody, I'm a rabbi, I can do whatever I want to. And no, you figure other people did it, okay. And they were very powerful, especially in the Second Temple. And this Yochanan Kohen Gadol was 80 years served as a holy priest. I mean, the high priest is a high priest wasn't just some guy that looked good in vestments. He had a nice looking beard, a big stomach. The high priest was a person that was totally pure in thought, speech, action, emotions. He's never ruled never let his egotism rule over him. I feel one moment. He was the highest, most pure person in Israel. That's what it's supposed to be. And nevertheless, all of a sudden, he got to be a tzeduk. He saw something, whatever he saw, a child fall from it, whatever he saw, but it scrambled his brain and his heart. And a normal person wouldn't have been able to take it either. But he was not a normal, he was super Jew. And nevertheless, he stumbled up. So don't be so sure of yourself that you don't have to watch your eyes and you don't have to watch your ears and you can say whatever you want to. And let's do the last one. Al tadin et chaverecha, do not judge your neighbor ad shetegiel makomo. Do not judge your neighbor until you reach his place. Let's look at the kahati. Al tadin et chaverecha ad shetegiel makomo. Don't judge your friend until you reach his place. Shetavo liyadei nisayon, until you come to a test like him. V'lo tikashel, and don't stumble. Don't judge. You can't judge another person. This is Professor Viktor Frankl also said that he was in the Holocaust, and Jew and was in the Holocaust because he was a Jew, and he got out, and there were people that it was very controversial because he said that we cannot say collective guilt on all the German people. There were German people that were good, and there were German people that listened to their conscience, and because of that, we cannot lump them all into one lump sum and say all the Germans were evil. That's essentially the same thing as the evil ones did. They just made one whole race being evil. Somebody said to him, well, what about the Jews that were the capos? The Jews that were the capos. What were the Jews that were capos? The Jews that were Jews that they lived, they survived, and they got out in merit of the fact that they beat their brothers. They were policemen for the Nazis in the camps. And they were tremendously cruel, a lot of them. They got out. And he suffered also from them. And a lot of them, they killed other Jews. They did terrible things. I mean, I heard stories that I don't even want to repeat. I've heard a couple of stories that haunted me. And Viktor Frankl said, listen, you can't judge your friend until you get to his place. You can only judge them if you were in the same situation and you didn't do what they did, then you could judge them. He said, I could judge them. I was in the same situation and I didn't do what they did. He said, but I'm not judging them. I'm not judging them. You can't judge a person, even that low of a person. We're talking about the lowest type of Jew that could possibly be. But they were under such duress that you can't judge them. What can we say? Don't judge a person until you reach to his place. This is a very important thing. Rabbi Mendel Futterfass once told me, you should never judge a person until you reach to his place. And there's only one person in the world that can really be in the place of another Jew, and that's the Rebbe. Only one person. Everybody except for the Rebbe has no right and also no, how do you say, perception to judge another person. How do you know you're judging correctly? You cannot judge another person. That's another reason why you shouldn't say lashon hara, because you don't know if your judgments are right. That's what you're saying. You can't judge another person to reach his place, huh?
That sounds all very nice and very well, but so continuing that logic, you can't judge a murderer unless you're a murderer yourself. You can't judge a thief unless you're a thief yourself.
Listen, if there's evidence that a person did something, then there's evidence, then you have to do to that person what it says in the Torah to do. Right? There's no, but if it doesn't say in the Torah to do X or Y, then you can't do it. There's no, it says, Lo sisneas achicha bilavavecha. There's a mitzvah in the Torah. You're not supposed to hate another person. You're supposed to reprove another person. You see him do something wrong, tell him he's doing something wrong. If he's really continuing, then tell other people also. If you see the person is really a danger to society or something, then you have to do it. But only the Tanya says very clearly in Pirkei Avos Ch2, you have to hate the bad in him, but the good in him you have to love. In other words, don't let the bad overshadow the good. And that he did bad, as you could try to find excuses for it, just like we found excuses for ourselves. Right? You get mad at somebody, you say, "Well, did you see what he did to me?" But in the Torah it says you're not supposed to get mad. Okay, you're not supposed to get mad, but did you see what he did to me? I'll just tell you a small anecdote about what I am now and what I used to be. But I used to have a very tempered. I used to have a terrible temper. I used to get very angry. I never really did anything with it. I never beat anybody up or something like that. But I used to get very angry at things, very angry. And little by little, maybe because I'm getting older, maybe because I'm just, letting Hashem take care of it, or, telling myself, listen, it's not that important. You lose more by getting angry than you do by just forgetting about it and leave it. Today, I was in a hurry in the morning. I had to get to someplace. And somebody decided for some crazy reason to drive on the side of the road where I was coming facing me. So I stopped. And I thought that the person would at least let me go by. It was sort of narrow. And he didn't stop. Exactly the opposite. He filled up the place so they couldn't go there. He sort of waited for me. I didn't, so I figured, at least I should say something to him. I thought to myself, listen, this guy obviously knows what he's doing. I waited a few seconds. It wasn't that long. And I went around. It was a whole lot to explain to what it was. Anyway, I had to go around. I think so. I went around. So I came to where I was supposed to go a half a minute late. Half a minute late is a long time. If you have to hold your head under the water, it's a long time. But it depends. If you're angry, it's a really long time. But if you're not angry, it's nothing. What's the big deal? Half a minute. So in other words, you're not supposed to judge the other person. Don't say, this evil person, I'm going to get, let it go. Because you don't know what it was. Maybe he ran out of gas. Maybe he also had troubles in the morning. Maybe who knows what happened to him. Maybe he's confused. Maybe who knows what happens. They don't have to judge the other person favorably. It works out better for you. Let's do one more. Al Tamar Davar She'iev Lishmoa. No, I think that'll be all for this one. That's good enough for now. Right? Don't judge a person. Don't judge a person until you reach his place. The Tanya also talks about it. Where is it? Chapter Lamed Aleph. You're not allowed to to judge a person until you get. But on the other hand, yourself, you can't make excuses for yourself. Usually, we do the opposite. For ourselves, we make a lot of excuses. Are you with me? Are people still with me? No? Oh.
Yes, with you.
We're here.
Because all of a sudden the whole screen went off. Okay. Let us do Basar V'Chalav.